Hello everybody, this is Cheri at djsundry.blogspot.com, and today I have a tutorial to share with you. I haven't done a tutorial in quite a while. I've mostly been doing shares where I've been finishing the project and then sharing it with you, but today we're actually going to make it together. I have some fun things to show you, and so we're just going to jump in and get started. I am making a birthday card. I haven't decided yet if this is for my niece or for my sister-in-law. Both of them share a birthday on the same day, but I need to get them both done, so we're doing this one. Now I'm using the Art Philosophy cartridge, and I'm using it for only one thing. I am using this little banner die in here, and I wanted to cut it out. Now I'm going to tell you, these came together, and I don't know the name of this stamp set from the Close to My Heart Art Philosophy, but it was mixed in with all my other Close to My Heart stamps, and some of them say inside in very small letters which cartridge it goes with, whether it's the Artiste or the Art Philosophy. This one did not. So when I found the stamp set, because that's where I started, then I had to decide which cartridge I needed to find to get the shape that I wanted. So thankfully I was able, the Art Philosophy one was out. So what I did is I wrote Art Philosophy on the front, just so that I will know in the future which stamp set this goes with, or which cartridge it goes with. So that was just a quick tip that I had. I also use Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I've already done all of my stamping. I used a couple different stamps from this set. Actually, I used three. I used this one that you see here that goes on the banner. Then I used the Happy Birthday, and then there's one here that says Celebrate, and I used all three of those. I'm using, from Die Cuts with a View, the Lemon Flower Matte Stack. This is an old matte stack. In fact, I bought it on clearance probably 2 or 3 years ago. But I really like the colors of paper in it. And I actually chose 2 different colors in here. I chose this almost like a paisley, and you'll see the design better on the paper, the piece that I already have cut, and then this black. Now I know that black is not a normal birthday color, but I think it's going to come together to make a really nice card. I used, also from Close to My Heart, I used the olive ink. I have this piece of ribbon from Really Reasonable Ribbon. And then from Creative Inspirations, I used the citrus paint. Now I've already done all of my stamping and all of my painting, so I'll point those out to you. But before I do, I want to show you, this is the banner, and it's cut at 3 inches, just like the stamp set said. And then I stamped the curlicues in it in black. I wanted to try stamping with this Creative Inspirations paint, and that did not work, unfortunately. So that's what you see here, and amazingly enough, as I look up at my camera frame, I think you can actually read it better on camera than you can by the naked eye. I don't know why, but it just didn't work. And I had cut 2 to experiment with that. I just didn't like that you couldn't see it, but that's okay, because I came up with another plan. So this paper that I used is just plain white, simple cardstock. It's the Georgia Pacific, I think, white cardstock. And it's cut at 5.5 inches wide, and it takes the full width of the 8.5 inch piece of paper, so that when I scored it and folded it down the middle, I have a 4.25 by 5.5 inch card. Now I think the camera's picking up here. You see the shimmer that I put around the edge. I did that with the paint. And I already finished off the inside, and you'll see here I put a shimmer around the edge with the paint as well. And I used the Happy Birthday. Now when my plan fell through to use the citrus, that's when I found the olive, which was my closest color to match that. I didn't like the way it matched, but when you put it in like this, it did fine. And I'll show you in a minute how I made it really pull together all those colors on the front of the card. So these are just little strips. I didn't even measure them. They're just small leftover strips. I used 1 piece of each piece of paper, and there are some leftovers left. But and another clue here, because this black paper on the bottom is heavily embossed. The paper came that way. So instead of using my ATG, I use score tape to adhere this to the pattern paper on top. Now I'm reversing that process on the front of the card, so I won't actually be adhering the pieces together. I will adhere them together, I'm sorry, but I will not be, I don't have to put the glue on this piece. It'll go on the bottom. So this is the main piece. I'm going to just set the card aside. This is the main piece of cardstock with the green in here. You can see kind of the flourishes. I guess there really aren't paisleys in there, but the flourishes. And then this is the black piece. And so I am going to just simply adhere those together. And this is actually a pretty simple card. There were a lot of fun steps to it, but I think it's going to come together as a simple, elegant looking card. So then what I'm going to do, before I adhere this mat to the card, I'm using white. Now I debated about tinting this piece of ribbon from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I thought about tinting it to match the citrus with the Creative Inspirations paint, but I decided I just wanted a simple white because I think it'll tie in the places that I need to have white. Now making bows for me is a challenge without a doubt, and this ribbon's a bit stiff, so it's going, well, I thought it was going to be a challenge, but it actually came together pretty quickly. I'm surprised. So let's just trim that off. Just like that, and then I'll just make sure that the bow is looking the way that I want it to. Just kind of twist, and I love using my 3 Girl Jam bow maker. That is my favorite way to make a bow because my bows turn out so pretty. But when I'm wrapping it around a card like this, I really can't do that unless I do the bow separate. And it's kind of a sloppy, messy bow, but I kind of like the way that's looking, just like that. So I'm going to turn this over and adhere this down. Now the base, the printed with the green piece of paper, was cut at 5 1/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches, and then the black was also cut at 5 1/4 inches wide, but it was only 2 inches tall. And so there we have that, just like that. Now if I wanted to, I could put a little glue dot underneath the bow. I don't think I'm going to right now. I may change my mind before the card's finished, but for now I think I'm going to leave it. So this is the piece that I have prepped. Let me just set this aside so you can see that better. This is the piece that I have prepped. I cut this again at the 3 inches, just like I did this. But you can see that I stamped it with that olive Celebrate, and then I went over the whole top. I was just going to kind of almost give it a distress look with the paint around the edges, but instead I decided to go over the whole top, so it completely changed the tone of the paper. But by doing that, it really pulled those colors together and provided me with a better match. Now I think that's going to go right there, but I'm just going to set it there. I've already popped it up on some foam tape, and then I'm going to show you my last element. This is a wood piece, a wood veneer piece. I actually purchased this at Trees to Treasures several months ago, and it says today. I'm going to show you the back side of it, and you can see it's got that wood grain color, but I put, I believe it was 3 coats of the citrus paint over the top of it, and it just creates that nice shimmery feel, and that is going to go right down here. And I think what I'm going to do is kind of put this at an angle, kind of like it's coming out from the bow, and then it says Celebrate Today. So let's go ahead and adhere that down, and I am going to end up doing the wood veneer piece with some glue because I just don't think it will adhere any other way very easily. So I'm going to pull out my Scotch Quick Dry, and I'm going to dab it. Now, I don't want to get too much because, whoops, it's sealed off. Just one second. I've not used it in a while. I want to get enough coverage that it will stay, but I don't want so much that it seeps out. Even though it dries clear, I think it kind of takes away from the project if you can see it. But I have to be so very careful because of that embossed paper. I need to have plenty of glue that it will stay. So it's kind of a fine line there. And I'll just kind of play with that and center that down right, or put that in the corner. And I'm not worried about dimension on this card because it's going to be hand delivered. But there we have our card, Celebrate Today. And then on the inside it says Happy Birthday. So thanks so much for stopping by today. And remember, take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.